You have a vision in your head of what it's going to look like and sound like.
Sure. If it's not our business, I don't know whose business it is.
So many different sorts of people get involved. You've got people building the set, you've got people doing costumes, you've got people doing lighting design.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Chesil Theatre. Ireland, 1922.
Work! But that's all they want from us, Jackson. Work, work, work.
It's a very intense play. I mean, the laughter is intense and the heartbreak is very intense. I want them to leave the audience in bits.
And Ireland's taking a leaf out of the world's book when we got the making of our own.
Hello, everybody.
So for this play I'm actually acting, one of the roles I'm doing is a producer. The whole process really is, I suppose, a bit like, I come from an engineering background and it's a bit like running a bit of a project plan. So you're looking for, there's a definite sort of timeline for going through things that we have to follow, from the auditions to the reading to the auditions.
Today, Jobster, there's going to be issued a proclamation. What is the stars? What is the stars?
I think I've suddenly fallen in love with sort of Irish plays, that they have this wonderful way of telling some tragic stories whilst adding in a lot of humour.
What is the stars?
Nice to meet you.
Lovely to meet you too.
Hello. Hi.
Hi.
Hi, I'm John.
Oh,
How are you? It's nice to meet you.
I'm gone.
I think what really frustrates me about the world of acting and theatre is that it doesn't matter how good your last show was, you start at the bottom again almost.
If you ease up there because you're trying to stop them.
Boys, Tenement House, what with rain?
Sorry, so you're going to end on reading? Yeah. Right, okay, I don't know when you're coming in.
the script.
But you're not doing Manning.
No, we're not doing
But
that.
how's
We're getting
reading?
stuck in a rut here, guys.
Yeah,
I love the fact that he's an old git in every way, really. He's a selfish bastard who enjoys people's attention. I'm not saying that that's... I don't know. It probably is revealing some aspect of my personality, deeply sort of embedded. But I don't know. I just think that is fun to play. It really is fun to play.
big character.
A big character who...
not necessarily very likeable, but is very...
he's likeable and not likeable,
Yeah,
I think, by turns to the audience, but
Mm-hmm.
it is inside a selfish git. I mean, it's not easier to play that kind of part, but I think it's fun to play that kind of part. I do anyway.
Oh, isn't this a nice thing to come rolling in on top of me? And it'll be fellas all over the district before you can say Jack Robinson. And whenever I'm seen, they'll whisper, "That's the father of Mary Boyle that had the kid with the swank she used to go with. Do you know? Do you know?"
So, what's it like working with your partner together in the play?
It's fine, it's good. Strangely enough, I spend less time with you than I do with
Jobster.
Joxer! Joxer, are you there?
Yes.
Yeah, might be what's the problem with the marriage?
What marriage?
Do you know the gap is?
You talk very queer, Jackson. What could he hear?
About you not getting the money. In some way or other.
And what would prevent me from getting the money?
So normally when I act, I'm quite tall and quite expansive, but just shrink it all down, keep my hands in, keep my feet in, shrink it down physically, and because it's a status thing, I'm smaller in status than Captain Boyle.
In with the £3.5 with Mrs. Madigan's riz on the blankets and the table for you, and she says you're to be in no hurry paying it back.
She won't be long without it. Now, I'm expecting the first cheque for a couple of hundred any day now. There's the £5 for yourself, Jack. Go on, take it.
I won't hold me tongue. I won't hold me tongue.
I wanted to take part Johnny because he was, like I said, so different to me. It was completely different to anything I've ever done before, because he's like probably like a manic depressive.
Nice cup of tea in a minute.
Oh, Tay, you're always thinking of Tay. The man was dying, you tried to make him swallow a cup of tea.
and he's obviously got post-traumatic stress.
Mother of God! The light's gone out!
Well, you put the wind on me the way you bowled that time.
Mother of God!
And it was just something I've never experienced before, and it was, I've normally in plays I've done before, I've always been in like a comic role, so it's really nice to come into like a role that does have comedy moments and have absolutely none of them. And like, I think like Cecily says, I've got like one line that's funny, and that's it.
I just think it's quite fun to be somebody else for a little while. The best man for a woman is the one with whom she has the one for whom she has the most love. And Charlie had it all. Didn't really think about the fact that I'd have to do an Irish accent until I was at the audition. And I thought, ooh, got to quickly find one. Yeah.
And very, very formal in your speech. And I am going to drag it out of your guts if necessary. So it's they're all doing something that they haven't done before, even in terms of the accent or the type of play they're in.
On page, have you got that, darling? Page 34.
I'm from Dublin, but it's a while since I've lived there.
Now, when you work with an Irish play, because you say that your accent has gone a little bit, do you feel like it comes back?
Oh, absolutely.
Dirty birds.
Dirty birds.
Dirty birds.
Let the fly go forth.
First dirty birds.
First cousin.
First.
Wait till you hear what Mr. Benton has to say first.
First. Say surrender.
Surrender.
Surrender. Surrender.
I've worked with Cecily on a number of occasions, and she normally says to me, Juno, I could live on that set. But she said I couldn't live on that because it would be much too drafty. So bits of it are representational. You know, we've got the Ionic Greek column, you know, which indicated that it was quite a grand house at one time. It is painted in a way that makes it distressed, so it looks as if it is deteriorating rapidly. So it's got bits of realism isolated in a non-representational way, if that makes any sense.
Actually, I've got one I did earlier. Can I just sit down?
Yeah, sure. David has also drawn in SketchUp files all of our flats.
Although it looks deceptively simple because it hasn't got very many set pieces around it, it was quite a long build on it because the set pieces, especially the two windows back here, are quite complicated to build. The stove was just two of our storage boxes with a stove front put on and red lights and imitation coal inside. It looks good enough, and we did find some cast iron feet someone was throwing away from someone's bathroom, so we managed to pinch those. Simple cupboard, made again from a table, which we can remodify later. Shelves, bits and pieces. This is supposed to be a temporary wall the occupants have built themselves to wall off a corner of this rather what was a posh room. This set also uses mouldings, which we started using again a few years ago. These again are the mouldings we mentioned, just plastic mouldings, but they look very effective. Now, any pieces that are made that are worth keeping, I can see them to be reused. We'll try and store, although we're very short of storage space in here.
So we're now on the first floor, and this is where all the lighting and electrical stuff gets stored, along with what furniture we can hang on to. And this is like a Pandora's box combined with the TARDIS. There is just, everywhere you look, there is something stored. So here we've got old sort of light fittings. We've got a big collection of old telephones. About 30% of our costumes are at this level. All of our costumes are very carefully catalogued. They're looked after. They are washed regularly. We know exactly what we've got. It's all on the computer. So we know what we've got. You see, so you could be a king for a day.
It's an interesting stage we're at, where I vary between panic and confidence, optimism, I should say. Hang on. Could you? Come on. Could you get as far? Could you get as far as here before he says, "Have you got your beads?" So
Here, yeah.
Yeah. So if you make him get that far with your gun, okay, and then have you got your beads? They know their lines pretty much.
And we don't forget. We don't forget them things, Johnson.
Not yet. Not yet. The very last line.
You heard what it'll be no good. You heard what he said before he went out.
And now we're at the stage where I'm hoping people are going to build in a little more detail into their characterization.
The whole world is in a state of chassis.
The more experienced members of the cast find that a little easier because they have the confidence to start to play with the material a little bit more.
I'll show them I've a little spirit left in me still.
Some of the less experienced ones are just glad to be able to get through it without forgetting lines and so on.
Come on!
Sorry, line.
Also, there are a couple of things like the accents are beginning to wander a little bit, but we'll have our tame Dubliner coming in to work on us next week.
Your act was actually really quite good.
I was just really in, so...
Keep rolling the R's and the I's, you're more pronouncing like an O-I, like in right,
Yeah.
which is more right. Just try and make it like O-I, like oil.
Yeah, don't oil.
Really.
Oil.
And the... Yeah, and any vowel that followed with an R beside it, like the dirty bird.
There are some lovely things beginning to develop that I feel very happy about. They're beginning to be able to sort of pick up the pace, and so it sounds more like a normal conversation rather than waiting just for your cue so you can then say the line you already know, where it begins to sound a bit more like normal speech.
You sit down and you take your breakfast and let me get to me work from an hour late already waiting for you.
Well, you needn't have waited, for I take no breakfast.
Usually by the end of the run, I feel now I can begin to do something with this play. I'm never satisfied. It's a hopeless quest for perfection, and that's never going to happen because you have a vision in your head of what it's going to look like and sound like.
Ever tarry, and an English one he is sure to marry. And still she cried, I love him the best, and a troubled mind sure can know no rest. And still she cried, bonny boys are few, and if my love leaves me, what shall I do?
And even if I had the resources of the National Theatre, it's still, it doesn't approach the, the interior vision.
We have a big department. We have an awful lot of props, but they're sort of standard things from TVs, cameras, walking sticks, things like that. So the guns even that are used in this are from our standard stock.
Who are you? What are you doing here? Removing furniture that's not paid for.
But there's quite a few things that you find that need to be a bit more bespoke. So I've had a lot of fun making a cover for the newspaper, of all things. That's probably the thing that's taken me most work, to make a cover for the Irish Times from 1922, which took a bit of work of finding old newspapers from that era and then copying them in, editing them, putting the right headers on, and then finding a way to print them and bring them out into the big size of a newspaper. But we got there in the end.
A bottle of stout or a drop of whiskey?
Well, now, I think the bottle of stout would be a little too heavy on my stomach after me tea.
The bottles of beer, we wanted low alcohol stout. I managed to find some, it was Dutch, but we needed to lose the labels, so the backstage guys did that, but I printed some labels and we stuck those on, so really kind of a gopher really for a lot of the bits and pieces that popped up, so things from the sixpences, I went and found some coins, bottle openers, all the little little bits and pieces that are fairly bespoke, I suppose. I even went looking for the teapot at one point around an antique shop and found that sort of thing. So for me, it's great fun. I enjoy looking for things, and particularly ways of being creative to come up with an answer rather than just spending money. It was catching the lights and reflecting into the audience. So there's a favourite old trick where they put it. They use Vaseline and just smear Vaseline on, and it takes the glare out of it but leaves it still shiny. We can always go out and spend money. The stove is a case in point. It needed some cast iron legs. We could have bought some for 35 quid. I blagged some off somebody's old bath that they were throwing out, and a piece of wood, and I made them for free.
Everyone has to die someday. You, Juno, today. Me, maybe tomorrow. It's sad, but it can't be helped. Requiescat in pace. Or, using our real tongue, like St. Patrick or St. Bridget. Gesayeri Giaera.
Oh, da, that's not rest in peace. That's God Save Ireland.
Yeah, it's all the same, isn't it? A prayer.
I feel now that we're in the home straight of Juno, that we are coming up for just 1 and a bit weeks away from the first night, that there's a sense of excitement that's keeping me going.
There's a visitor coming any minute with Mary, and he has great news for you.
Job, I suppose. Let us get one first before we start looking for another.
If there was something for you to mess up on the night, what do you think that would be?
I think it's going to be a mix of either the accent.
I'm not to be quiet, I'm not to be quiet. He's a nice father, isn't he? Is it anyone that Mary went astray when she's got this as her example?
Or my ability to limp, which is much more difficult than I thought it was. I thought it was really easy, and like the specific type of limp for if it's a hip is off the scale, I didn't realise. And my arm.
Jump up quickly, quickest.
This arm. But luckily that'd be strapped behind my back, but I'm so scared I'm going to come on stage with my arm just like having grown it back.
Lord Jesus, have mercy on me.
Try and move it past.
I can't even be limb.
It's me limb.
Cecily and I think Helen, the stage manager, came up with the idea of putting a spoon in my shoe because then it just gives me a limp automatically and I don't have to think about it. But then if you like pick it up too much, it's like really difficult because then it starts moving around.
What is the moan? What is the moan?
We're nearly there. Yeah, it's the bit that I bet love most of all, just the tweaking the little details, finding out that we have a little bits of business that we've not had time for because we've been struggling for our lines.
Tonight. Yep, very excited. Can't wait. Hopefully it will go okay. The other rehearsals have been all right, so fingers crossed we're sold out. So I hope that there's not 84 people that are going to be disappointed. So yeah, just can't wait to get it going and then have the whole rest of the week.
Hasn't he come in yet? Oh no, Mother. Oh, he'll come in when he likes. Strutting about the town like a paycock with Jackser, I suppose.
When the cat's away, the mice can play.
Pull over to the fire, Jack, so we'll have a cup of tea in a minute.
A cup of tea's a darling thing,
And how much will be coming out of it, Mr. Bentham?
Well, Mr. Boyle, the executors tell me that half of the property is worth anything between £1,500 and £2,000.
It's a fortune, Father, it's a fortune.
We'll be able to get out of this place and go somewhere we're not known.
Oh, you won't have to worry about a job for a while now, Jack.
Oh, I never doubt the goodness of God again.
If I were a blackbird, I'd whistle and sing, and I'd follow the vessel me true love sails in, and on the top rigging there I'd build me nest and pillow me head on his lily white breast.
and lovers around her house.
Use of you trying to sing a song if you don't know it.
Come in, Mrs. Tancred.
Haven't I done enough for Ireland? I lost me arm and me hips destroyed since I'll never be able to walk right again. Good God, haven't I done enough for Ireland?
Boyle, no man can do enough for Ireland.
We've been sent up to the manager of the Hibernian Furnishing Company, Mrs. Boyle, to take back the furniture that was got a while ago. Have you got your beads?
Me beads? Well, why'd you ask me that? Why'd you ask me that? What are you gonna do in a comedy? Look at me arm, I lost it for Ireland.
Howard Tancred lost his life for Ireland. Come on.
Oh, Sacred Heart of Jesus, have mercy on me. Blessed Mother of God, be with me now in the agonies of death. Amen.
So for all of them, it's been a challenge.
Next time, on another project with the same team, you work better.
And people often say, well, doesn't it make you upset? And I say, well, no, not really. I mean, it could, but it's actually quite nice to say, yes, been there, done that, clean slate, start again, new production. It's good.